In here from Bowview Barbecue, we're going to do some pulled lamb today. This is a 2 kilo lamb shoulder, bone in. I've trimmed all the fat and skin off it, so it allows the smoke to get right into it and the bark to set. I'm using a tree bark done by Greenwood. It's an Australian rub with mainly a rosemary base. It's absolutely divine for this. Trim it back, rub it down. You may have to put a binder on it, so it will be mustard or just a light oil. Bind it on, rub it down, and then throw it in the smoker, set for 250 to 275 Fahrenheit, 125 to 150 Celsius, and throw it in there for about 2 to 3 hours. This is where it's just been taken out, so it's barked up quite nicely. I'm going to wrap it up. Once I go to wrap it up, I'm going to add a bit of a dew to the actual foil itself, which will help add moisture to the lamb and help steam it and make it fall apart. You can use a stock, you can use butters, you can use anything you choose. I've just done up a traditional dew, and I'll throw a ingredients listing up on the side. Now, it doesn't need too much dew, just about 3 or 4 of the spoonfuls. That'll just help with the steaming and softening of the meat process as it's going back into the smoker. So I'm going to put them in there, wrap them back up, throw them back into the smoker until the internal temperatures hit around about the 203 Fahrenheit, which is about the 96 to 100 odd degrees Celsius. You'll know that it's ready because it'll want to start falling apart. So wrap it up nice and tight because obviously you've got that juice in there and you don't want it coming out. Right, we've just taken her off. She's still extremely hot and needs to sit and rest for a bit. I'll show you what's going on inside. Temperature is around about 203 Fahrenheit. You know she's ready because she just wants to start pulling apart. So what I'm going to do is let this rest now. There's some beautiful juices there which I'm going to use into my sauce. I'm just going to wrap this up and let it rest. A good hour, 45 minutes or so. We've had her resting now for about a good 45-50 minutes. She's still going to be nice and hot. As you can see the steam coming out. I'm going to just pull this into the juices that's already provided by the lovely bits of meat that's in there. Remove the bones first. As you start pulling apart the lamb, you'll find it's a little bit more fibrous than what pulled pork would be. So get your claws out or a good fork and just start shredding away. It'll take a little bit longer than what pulled pork is, but it will fall apart because obviously it just wants to, you've dissolved all the fat and the residuals, and now she just wants to shred up, so get right into it. Empty it into the bowl, make sure you don't lose any of those juices. There probably will be a little bit too much juice, you'll empty a little bit of it out, but just pull it, fully shred it through, let it dissolve, let it absorb some of that moisture. The lamb itself is already nice and juicy, but that moisture when you go to put it on your roll or dunk the bread into it, it's absolutely delicious. Right, we're nearly ready now. Grab yourself a nice bread roll, nice fresh bread roll. Have it toasted or not toasted. It comes down to what you like best. Don't be shy when you're putting the lamb onto it. Get a good amount of lamb onto there. And some of those juices. Just put as much juice as you can. If you're not sharing, you want to do it yourself, dunk your roll into those juices. And it will be all the difference. Because I am sharing this meat with others, I'm not going to dunk it. So what I'm going to do is get a bit of that dew that I put on earlier and just drizzle it over just to give it a bit more flavour, a bit more sauce. which obviously gives it a bit more juice and makes it more succulent when you go to eat it. Here we go. Show and tell. Let's test. Oh, that is good. Don't be shy, guys. You got to try this at home. It is so good. That's our lamb after it's been cooled. You can see all the juices in there. Absolutely beautiful. It's all the fats that have all rendered down, plus all the rub and sauces, a mixture of textures. You can see the pink from the smoke ring. Just a little bread roll, bit of the dew put on. Absolutely delicious it is. I'd love to dunk this straight into the juices, but thank you.